Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Screening. Supernanny is the classic reality TV show about parents struggling with caring for their children. The mastermind behind putting these children into place is Jo Frost, and she does so by entering the family household to establish rules both for the kids and the parents. However, as we all know, kids can be pretty over the top at times, sometimes straight up insane. From hitting the babysitter to insane tantrums, here are some of the most insane kids on Supernanny. Before we begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Number 7. King Tyler. Here's a family who have 4 children, all just 1 year apart from each other, from ages 3 to 7. With such young kids and a whole lot of them, I'm sure you can imagine how crazy they get. From swearing to screaming to arguments to physical fights, these kids do it all. And especially the only son, Tyler. You see, the 3 girls often fight and argue, like most children do. However, Tyler is on a whole other level. It's already crazy enough to be swearing at such a young age, but 6-year-old Tyler has made it a habit to swear at his own mother and call her names using this vocabulary.
I hate the yeah, why?
This all occurred due to him being in the naughty chair. And if you think this is bad, just wait till you see what he does when his mother decides to discipline him.
Mama, I can't do this.
That's right, Tyler doesn't hold back at hitting his own mother and violently attacking his younger sister for no reason. Supernanny knew exactly that something like this doesn't just happen. No child speaks at their mother in such a way out of nowhere. Supernanny asked Tyler's mother how he learned that language, and here's what she said.
Martin used to call me a all the time.
So the man in the house never used to have respect for you, and neither does your son now?
No.
Swearing at his mother as well as hitting her? Tyler definitely deserves his spot on this list. Number 6. Uncontrollable kids. There's naughty kids, there's angry kids, there's violent kids, but there's nothing worse than uncontrollable kids. And that's what these kids are. They don't respect their boundaries at all, and often run away with their parents having no idea where they are. As soon as Supernanny came to the family household, the children ran off into the neighbor's yard. And by ran off, I mean they climbed the fences between the 2 properties. Now look, these are kids being kids. The parents should be disciplining them to not do this, but come on! Would you have done this as a kid? The neighbor exits her house and after playing with them for a bit, tells the children they have to go back home, as they were of course uninvited, and they decide to start punching her in the stomach because they don't want to leave. And to make matters even worse, she's pregnant.
Just today they were trying to hit me in the stomach because I was trying to make them leave.
Excuse me?
And I'm pregnant, yeah.
Eventually, their father had to climb the fence and remove them physically. After this whole ordeal, the family starts eating lunch and one of the sons decides to run off like usual. The mother stated that this is typical and they're probably being chased by their father. However, when Supernanny went to investigate, this happened.
The kids were out there playing with other children, no adults, and there was no Sean.
Where's Sean? I have no idea where Sean's at.
Despite the children acting absolutely crazy, Jo had this to say.
Hold on a minute, where have you been?
They're your kids. They're your responsibility. You don't just leave them in the garden and just hope they'll be all right when you get back.
Number 5. Jared and Justin. After a long stay with an American family, Supernanny leaves for a few days to let the parents take on her advice and see how their kids' behavior changes. Their initial behaviors consisted mainly of violent tantrums, which can be hard to handle as parents. When Supernanny returned, she went over the footage with the parents, and everything was looking good. The parents were utilizing the right techniques, and the children were responding well. However, things of course go downhill. While on camp, the family were playing golf together, and when their youngest son Justin finished playing, he went psycho on his mother when he wanted another turn.
Okay, well...
You will sit here for 3.5 minutes,
No!
Justin. Okay? Justin, do not hit me.
This tantrum was surprisingly handled well by the mother thanks to Supernanny's help, but that doesn't excuse the child's outburst. Number 4. Crying babysitter. Along with all the kids shown previously, the ones you're about to see are maniacs. From crying outbursts to screaming tantrums, these children are never quiet. After visiting the household with the parents around, Supernanny decides to see how the children would act with their parents not around and decided to hire a babysitter. The two parents were treated to a romantic date while the babysitter was left with all the madness.
You look really pretty.
Supernanny initially thought the children would act the same, or even better, being in the presence of someone who isn't their parents, but boy was she wrong. The children acted up even more than they had with their parents, immediately throwing tantrums and having fights with each other. The babysitter was left crying after just 5 minutes and immediately broke down, being so overwhelmed. When trying to control the kids, they started slapping her in the face. Luckily, the parents came home rather early and quickly took action to discipline the children using Joe's techniques. Although the situation was eventually sorted, we all can't hesitate but feel extremely sorry for this poor babysitter. Number 3. Addicted teen. Although mobile phones and technology consumption is a more contemporary issue, kids of the early 2000s were still consuming large amounts of technology. After visiting a household with naughty kids, Supernanny noticed that the oldest child was quite polite and wasn't misbehaving in any way. However, she also noticed that the oldest child was always on her phone or laptop. Supernanny gave her the benefit of the doubt and didn't link these distractions as to why she was well behaved. However, when the family went camping, she showed extreme levels of entitlement and hated the idea of living in a cabin without the modern-day luxuries. One of these luxuries, of course, being internet and technology. However, this wasn't so bad. She could just use her phone, right?
What I would love to do is to collect your cell phones from you, and I will see you in several days when I get back and see how you guys done.
As soon as Supernanny left, the teenage girl had a major breakdown and she cried all over the place. This reaction is already extreme, considering she literally just had to withhold from technology for 1 day. However, things get even worse when she doesn't get what she wants.
I can't feel myself. I want to go home.
Jeez, this girl is absolutely insane. How could you have a reaction that extreme over something like that, especially at her age? Number 2. Embarrassed parents. As an adult, one of the most freeing things is having your own place and being able to invite your friends over. However, once you have children, this all changes. For the most part, having children limits your possibilities on what to do with your guests. However, they're never the be-all end-all of your guests' stay. Unless you're this couple from Supernanny. They confessed to Joe that they never bring guests over, even the ones with kids, because their children are too embarrassing. What they mean by this is that their children swear an awful lot, all the time. They also don't have experience with other children, causing them not to hold back when it comes to fighting and not sharing. Supernanny thought what better way than to try bringing some friends over with their new parenting techniques to help keep them behaved. As it turns out, this didn't work at all. The kids were so insane that both the parents had to chase them around the house to get them into the naughty chair. And this was after they swore a bunch and fought with the guests' kids.
Mommy.
Embarrassingly enough, the guests ended up leaving early because they didn't want their children to hear such vulgar language. Number 1. The crazy house. This is no doubt the most insane household ever shown on the show. All 4 of the children are boys, meaning things get pretty crazy at times. However, this is expected with a bunch of boys, right? Well, these kids really raise the bar with how crazy things can get, because they're insane just about every minute of the day. With their ages ranging from 5 to 10, I'm sure there's no surprise when I say they get into physical fights all the time. Their oldest son is an absolute bully and initiates fights with his younger brothers any chance he gets.
The oldest is Darren, he's 10 years old.
He'll do anything he can to hurt his brothers.
Can you shake my hand?
The 2 middle children are extremely hyperactive and aggressive. Throwing tantrums is the norm. With all this insane behavior, it gets me thinking of what these children will be like as teenagers. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos on your favorite TV shows, and tap one of the 2 videos on screen for another amazing video.